Today's video is going to be funny, huh?
Hey y'all, this is Auntie. I am out in the streets doing what I do and my phone has been blowing up. I saw that there was a video done and I see that there has been a lot going on and people have a lot to say about it. So let me come out here and set this record straight. I started not to say anything, but at this point, I don't have any other choice. You have left me none. Let's get into it.
In our last video, we covered how Aunties advised everyone's sweet old auntie on YouTube falsely accused members of our Wetsock community of writing racist comments on her video. Conveniently enough, when I asked her to submit evidence and show me the messages, they were deleted because she was so triggered that she deleted the messages.
It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
She not only lied to her own community and tried to emotionally manipulate them, but she lied to the entire world.
Wetsock is a content creator. He is entitled, just like I am, to discuss anything he would like, have an opinion about it. But what y'all is not going to do is come over here with all the racial, you in this, you in that in didn't do this, you in, you disappointing, in. I'm not going to be your in. I'm not an in. You can have an opinion, but I am sure that Wetsock don't want any of you all attacking me because of my race, color, creed, religion, or anything else.
If you haven't seen my last video on the situation socks, I recommend watching that video before this one because in that video I show the DMs between me and her. I know what you're asking yourself, why would everyone's sweet auntie on YouTube, because that's how she portrays herself, do something like this to a fellow content creator? The answer is very simple. A lot of the people that make videos about these trash reality TV shows have crazy out of control egos, and a lot of times they're so comfortable dishing out that criticism, but when they have to take any criticism, they bug. She got big mad at me for pointing out that she got glazed so hard by the Dirty Bird that she might want to change her name to Krispy Kreme. I never said that in my previous video. I was actually hella respectful about the situation. I just pointed out things that she could work on when it comes to interviewing a bird that's dirty, because a bird that's dirty, as we know, likes to control the narrative, likes to speak over people, and she used that live with Auntie to get her side of the story out there. And from the way she worded these messages in the DMs, it's obvious what she wanted. She wanted an apology from me on behalf of my Wetsocks, the people that support me and have rocked with me over the years, over the numerous changes, the ups and downs, the all arounds. I've lived in multiple different countries. We've been all over the world together. I mean, we built up this sense of like loyalty. So for her to think that I would sell all y'all out and just immediately believe her at face value, like her subscribers that are obviously emotional thinkers and people that are subscribed to both channels, listen, I don't mean to offend any of you. However, you need to stop and think about things. Don't you find it strange that no one has found one racist comment from a Wetsock? I make videos about reality TV shows and I share it with my Wetsocks and we laugh and we joke about stuff. It's not to be taken that seriously, especially in this category of YouTube. The problem I have is the response. Instead of owning up to the fact that you didn't press the Dirty Bird enough, which honestly you don't even have to. You could just post a response video, explain your way of thinking, or even post a public message. I'm fine with that. But to falsely accuse my audience of being racist when we didn't bring up race one time, you're talking about your past experiences with racist Facebooks and whatever. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about you, your history. We're not close. We've never met in real life. We've never talked on the phone. We've talked over the span of a couple years in the IG DMs here and there. But for you to post and make up this whole lie that my community said racist things to you, when you've been working on YouTube, I looked at your oldest video 7 years old. So you've been working on here for 7 years and you expect me to believe that you don't know how hate comments work? There's no way of tracking that that person is a member of my community. And after only 2 hours, you went on a whole spiel about how it's not Wetsock, but his subscribers are racist and they gotta work on.
Don't come over here with that bullshit racial crap. I don't dislike him. I like him. I respect him. I always have. And you're not going to come over here with that racial bull crap in my goddamn comment section.
The title, to Your Wetsock subbies, have your opinion, but the racial comments will not be accepted. To be honest, what hurted in my feelings the most was the live chat, because I couldn't believe I saw comments like, he's probably racist too, I don't trust none of them. None of who? White people, bro? What are you saying? Define none of them. What does that mean? Because that sounds racist in itself. There is no evidence that has been presented that my community's racist, that I'm racist. I haven't said any racist shit, and I wouldn't. Y'all know what I'm about. So, I mean, to just believe this shit at face value is crazy. Cassie, all the people that wrote comments like this, you know what? God bless you. I have no problems with any of y'all. You were obviously emotionally manipulated and steered in this direction from someone claiming that our community said racist things about them, which is not true. And if you handled this matter privately and didn't post an entire video about this, not only would I try to investigate and get the person caught, I would send it to my YouTube manager and try to get their channel deleted if they said racist things to you and that was in fact true. But what I'm seeing from you is that you have a history of doing things like this. What's interesting is I didn't realize how much crossover was in our community, because I saw a lot of comments that were actually standing up for me, saying that this is not a reflection at all of Wetsock's character and all that. And I really appreciate that. For everyone that said something like that in her comment section, thank you. For those that didn't, you know what? I understand criticism of me. I get it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But what you can't call me is a racist. I grew up, my best friends have been black and Samoan and Latin and white and all kinds of different races. I don't care. When the covenant comes to attack, we're going to unite as the human race. So that's the way I think about it as a Halo player, because that was my favorite game growing up. Going back to what we're talking about, I also saw a lot of people saying that I owe Auntie an apology. She owes us an apology. She owes our entire community an apology. She claims to be one of us. She certainly doesn't move like it. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, but in my opinion, someone like Auntie's Advice that has this kind of response to any criticism about how she conducts interviews shouldn't be making videos on any platform. If you let comments like this get to you and have to lie and try to involve me in your weird racist whatever that is, that was propaganda is what that was. Go get therapy for that if you got problems or you had loaded encounters in the past with people that have said racist things to you. Don't bring that into my video that I made about your interview with the Dirty Bird, because it has nothing to do with that. And another thing, sometimes I rub people the wrong way. I'm not trying to be holier than thou or anything. I just have never seen anything loaded like this, and I would never do this to somebody. And what I'm seeing is there's a lot of hypocrites. And once I did a little digging on Auntie's Advice, what I found out is this isn't the first time she's done something like this. So if you type in Auntie's Advice on Google, this is the first Reddit thread that pops up. Auntie's Advice is freaking annoying. I used to love her YouTube videos when she would review Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance, but goddamn, her reviews have gotten so obnoxious in the last year. Now she's doing this thing where she screeches, "Are you okay?" in the middle of the reviews. Who the hell thinks that's funny? She is forcing it and it's obnoxious. Am I alone here? And then Miss Kathy commented, "I used to be an Auntie fan, but noticed she would get snippy over comments some viewers would write if she didn't like what someone said. She would berate the person. During one of her live feeds, I posted something and she made a snarky comment about it. What the hell? Finally, I had enough of her melodrama and unsubscribed. I like Ebert and Wetsock. At least they're not annoying." Wayne then commented, "Exactly. Any contrasting view," and she says, "You're trolling. I'm not trying to be any of these people's personal minion. If I disagree, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but she hits the ceiling every time." Interesting. So right away we can see there's a whole history of not responding well to criticism. Which, if that's the case, Auntie, as your son, perhaps it's not the best career choice for you to work on the internet and make videos if you have that fragile of an ego. Here's another comment by Magic Imaginary Friend. I love the name because one of my favorite shows was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. They said, "I can't stand her. Creates drama in order to talk about it in her YouTube. I got zero respect for her." Then Alarming Treat responded, "She has her minions doing her dirty work on the comments. They take them down, then talk shit about it with Auntie's Advice. She's too involved in it." After this whole situation went down, I could definitely see that after being on the receiving end of that. And it's ironic that she kept saying in the video that it's not me, it's my subscribers or members of my community. You had no way of knowing that. I bruised your ego, which is why you responded like this. In those messages with me, she brought up multiple times that she's a black woman. And as a black woman, you would think that you would think about the repercussions of saying something this loaded that we all know isn't true about members of my community. I'm a white dude. I'm a straight white dude, which You know, times already we kind of get shit on. So to do this to me, of all people, and then try to pose as a fan of mine or a subscriber, a supporter, you're not. Let's use our heads for a second. Why on God's green earth would a subscriber of our channel go over to her channel and write something hateful like that and then say that I sent them over to do that or bring up my name at all? No one that supports me would do that, except for someone that fake supports me like you, Auntie, because we can smell the BS. You're not this nice lady that you pretend to be. Hopefully your nieces and nephew tips you $10 so that you can go to the store and buy a helmet, because if you make videos on the internet, of course you're gonna encounter racism and hate and all kinds of loaded comments. But for you to pull what you pulled, it just shows me everything about your character. I'm unsubscribed, I'm unfollowed, I'm never gonna talk to someone like you again. You're a complete op. You should be ashamed of yourself as an elder, as someone that tries to put on this bravado that she's this sweet auntie and give advice to people. You're a crazy person, and you should actually go get therapy and work on yourself before you come back to YouTube to attempt to give advice to people, because someone soft like you shouldn't even be on the internet. Also, you're not gonna slander my Wetsock community, because over the years we have built up a stellar reputation, and for you to say something that loaded and untrue and just lie about that. Check out what Auntie posted on our community tab. OMG, the way my heart just broke. OMG, why did y'all tell me to check out the live comments? OMG. The live comment she's referring to is me saying that Auntie was starstruck, and this sent her into outer orbit, which is hilarious because it's not even mean. Then we got this comment by Kevin that was pinned by Auntie's advice, which reads, "Here's the thing, at the end of the day, he made just a little bit, tiny bit envious because he has been wearing Angela out for filth and she came on your show. I don't know why he was expecting you to go off on someone that you've never met, never had a real conversation with. You're not the type." So I'm just trying to understand what they really expecting, other than a conversation that didn't even begin with her. The live wasn't even about to show that she was on. She just hopped on a random live. This wasn't anything that was scripted or people knew was coming. Why would I be envious that she got to talk to the Dirty Bird and I didn't, when I've acknowledged multiple times that the Dirty Bird is not going to do an interview with me, because I would lay her out and she would leave in about 10 seconds. As I explained in my last video with our Crown of Gondor segment, I just want to see someone hold the Dirty Bird accountable, and in return you will get the crown and I will call you king or queen. Kevin, fair point, fair comment. I can see from your picture that you put in a lot of work in the gym. Good for you, man. What's funny about this comment for me is that Auntie hearted it and pinned it. So she's just trying to paint it off like, yeah, Wetsock is peanut butter and jealous that I got to talk to the Dirty Bird and he didn't. The most comedy part about the situation is by having this response, you're trying to place yourself in the victim position and trying to incite your audience to come over and talk about how members of my community were racist, when you know that's not true and you lied about that. So now that you've been exposed, you know what? I hope that you go your way and I go my way. You can apologize to my Wetsock subscribers if you want to, and I'm sure that they would appreciate it. And for the people that still want to watch her, by all means watch her. She makes reaction videos to the show just like, I don't want to say just like I do, because obviously our ways of going about things and our morals and principles are different, and I think everyone can see that now. But she still does make videos reviewing the show, and I would never say unfollow this person or unsubscribe from this person, don't watch them. I will say though, for you to have this kind of emotional response and lie on my community like this, I've never seen a YouTuber do this to a fellow YouTuber. On Auntie's video falsely accusing members of our Wetsock community of writing racist things to her, PoohBear91 commented, "Auntie, you have to prove evidence that it came directly from a Wetsock fan, because accusing the other side of being racist is equally, if not worse, Auntie." Auntie responded, "I don't have to prove anything. This is so ignorant, as we don't know who are subs or not. It was directly from his ignorant accusations, period." Thank you so much for publicly admitting you had no way of knowing whether someone was subscribed to my channel or not. I appreciate you doing the work for me. If you did in fact receive racist comments, which we're all very skeptical because you conveniently deleted the evidence, you just publicly acknowledged that you had no way of knowing it was from a member of my Wetsock community. So why then, only 2 hours after my video was live, did you publicly lie to your nieces and nephews and say that you did in fact receive racist comments comments from a member of my Wetsock community. If you're this emotionally manipulative and comfortable lying, perhaps this career path isn't for you, because ultimately your audience relies on you to be their source of information, and you shouldn't view them as minions to manipulate. My Wetsocks, don't send Aunties advice any hate. She's not worth the effort. Besides, she's just gonna keep playing the victim, so there's no point. So joked she thought that she was gonna get away with clowning y'all publicly like this on my watch. My Wetsocks are way too smart to fall for any of this nonsense. What about first she associates y'all's name with racism, and then after it doesn't go her way and she doesn't get the response she wants, she associates my name with slavery? And to be honest with you, is it disappointing? Yeah. But it's like a you broke my heart Fredo moment, right? Like, I just want nothing to do with you. As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. You're an absolute crumb. And for you to do this to me of all people, you picked the wrong target.